our viewers in Nigeria and across the world. Lunchtime Politics begins right now. More political drama in Rivers State as government pulls down the assembly complex. It says it's for renovation, while Governor Siminalayi Fubara presents 800 billion naira 2024 budget to 5 lawmakers of a government house. The leadership of a coalition of political parties disagree over a succession plan, as some members accuse the chairman of illegally extending his tenure. But he's also been explaining his side. An appeal court judge defends judgment sacking Plateau lawmakers elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), insists the party had no structure. We'll begin with a developing story we're following for you in Rivers State, South Nigeria, where residents today woke up to the demolition of this Rivers State Assembly complex. Well, this is happening amidst heavy presence of security operatives monitoring the exercise, which started a few minutes before 7 a.m. Well, the state governor, Mr. Siminalayi Fubara, was seen leading a fleet of vehicles consisting of 10 bulldozers and heavy-duty flatbed lorries into the assembly complex. Both sides of the road have been cordoned off and blocked to vehicular movement, but pedestrians are allowed in and out of the area. However, facilities on Moscow Road, the location of the assembly, are all open. So what exactly is going on? Well, the Rivers State government has been explaining why the demolition exercise is currently ongoing. The Commissioner for Information, Mr. Joe Johnson, says the action is a fallout of the advice from consultants who warned that the building is no longer habitable due to the recent fire incident. Speaking on the sidelines of the 2024 budget presentation at the Government House in Port Harcourt, the Commissioner said the government hopes to give the renovation accelerated hearing.
You recall that on the 30th of October, after the fire incident that took place on the 29th, arising from the visit of His Excellency, I was on that trip, and we got there to assess the extent of damage. But beyond that, His Excellency also commissioned consultants who went into the structure and came up with an advice that it was no longer habitable and not very conducive for business. On the strength of that advice, the government had decided to demolish that structure and also provide a befitting place for members of parliament to transact their business. Well, the rapidity at which we commenced today will tell you that we're prepared to do it, and within record time, I'm sure that place will be fit for legislative business.
Well, there's a whole lot of angle to the happenings in Rivers State. Well, the Commissioner was speaking right there at the Government House, where incidentally, Governor Siminalayi Fubara presented a 2024 budget proposal before 5 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, led by Edison Ehie. Well, the presentation of the budget, which held at a hall in the Government House, apparently due to that renovation work at the State Assembly complex, which started this morning. And present at the budget presentation, the 4 members of the House were loyal to Mr. Edison Ehie, while none of the members who recently moved from the PDP to the APC are present. Also present were former Speaker of the House, Adams Dabotorum Dima, and former Deputy Speaker, Marshall Uwam. Now, all of this didn't just happen because earlier on, actually, a state high court sitting in Port Harcourt had restrained the leader of the 27 lawmakers who recently defected to the All Progressives Congress in the state, Martins Amewule, from representing, in fact, interfering with legislative duties of Edison Ehie, who leads other 4 members of the State House of Assembly. or the ex-parte order, which was issued by Justice Monina Danagogo, warned against the use of thugs and police officers to forcefully gain access into the premises of the House of Assembly, and that interim order is pending the determination of the motion on notice already filed. But in a swift reaction, we've had the Rivers APC caretaker chairman, Mr. Tony Okocha, condemning the interim injunction, threatening to report the judge to the NJC, that's the National Judicial Council, and he described the move as a ploy to allow the governor present the budget to the four lawmakers in the Hague group, and vowed that they will not sit and allow this to happen.
Justice Danagogo is younger brother to Dr. Tammy Danagogo, who serves in government, Rivers State government, as secretary to state government. It is preposterous that Justice Danagogo could berate the NJC, who had decided against the granting of frivolous ex parte by judges and had punished erring judges and justices who ventured. We are in clear knowledge that the reason for this affront on democracy is to allow the governor to present the 2024 budget to the Assembly. Alas, can 4 members of Rivers State House of Assembly sit in leadership over 31-member House with the other 27 members who have defected to the APC? We use this medium to send notice in advance to the learned judge that APC Rivers will not sit and watch Akimbo, the Jankara ex parte order, made in clear violation of known tried principles of law and flagrant disobedience to the NJC.
So lots of things happening right there in Rivers State. Well, a lot of people know the politics in the state to be quite intriguing, but this is another twist entirely. So let's get some more insight on this. We're joined on the program from our Abuja studio, Honorable Enemy Alabo George, is a member representing Asari Toru Constituency 2, is a chairman House Committee on Information. Thank you for joining us on Lunchtime Politics.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Right. We had also reached out to some of the members in the other group loyal to Honorable Edison here, but, they have not responded. They failed to also send a representative as well as a commissioner for information in the state, just to represent the side of the government in this matter. But let me come to you, Honorable Alabo George. And I see you're in Abuja. A lot of people will expect that, you'll be in Rivers State fighting for your cause, as it were. So the question is, have you been exiled from the state? What exactly is going on? What is happening in Abuja?
That's funny. I came to Abuja for a meeting yesterday, and I was supposed to go back to Port Harcourt this morning when I heard the news. It's sad. It's unfortunate. It's an interesting day to be alive. That will wake up to see many years of hard work, many years of history, works of our forebears, works of our predecessors brought down in one fell swoop. Our documents, our files, our archives, the entire signature of the Rivers State House of Assembly, built from the First Assembly to date, brought down for nothing. But I think that history will judge everyone. I'm not talking about personal belongings of members of the Assembly. I'm not talking about stuff we have in our offices. I'm talking about the institution. I'll live here one day. When I came here, I learned the job through documents and files and archives I saw from the libraries and a lot of things, our Hansards, everything that represents the history and image of the Rivers State House of Assembly has been built from the first assembly to date, has just been brought down. And it's something very, very difficult to explain. So I'm as shocked as you are.
Is that to say then that you're not buying that reason which the government gave through the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Joe Johnson, that the demolition was carried out as a result of that fire, and on the advice of consultants who said that, well, the structure of the building is in question and thus needs to be brought down to be rebuilt. Does that mean you don't believe that at all?
My dear brother, the River State House of Assembly building, before it was brought down today, is the best House of Assembly building in Nigeria. It's the finest and the best planned. The fire happened in the hallowed chambers of the House of Assembly. That's why we moved to another auditorium. The complex is massive. It's massive. So everyone knows what the issues are. If you want to demolish the official building, the House of Assembly, you will give notices. You will allow us to move out our stuff, move out documents, important documents. The House has to approve. The executive cannot move in one day and demolish the House of Assembly without the approval of the House of Assembly, without letting us plan. Where do we move to? Where do we move our stuff to? Where do we move our offices to? We have our halls we sit, we have our offices, we have our staff, we have our legislative department, we have our legal department, we have our press department. We have a lot of, it comes with a lot of planning. You don't wake up one day, lead a team of bulldozers into the complex, and then you just bring it down with everything inside. It is difficult to explain because of one man's ego, you know, and no. This is the height of recklessness. It's the height of lawlessness. And what is sad is that this was enabled by a fraudulent court order issued by a corrupt judge, a judicial officer, which has no value at all.
Well, I need to come in here right now. If you can hear me, Honorable, it's important to keep our words measured. Yes. If you have evidence and it's been proven,
oh no, I'm sorry about that.
But attacking the personality of the judge and the court will not be allowed on this program. So if you have evidence, by all means, bring it out here. But let's refrain from personal attacks. Thank you.
We will. So, but what's important for us to know is that the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, as at today, is Martin Ameole. We have a subsisting court order to that effect, and nothing has changed. Martin Ameole is the Speaker and remains the Speaker. You know, so whatever that was is void. The Assembly, the court allows the Assembly to carry on our functions unfettered, unhindered. So all that has been done is actually void.
Right, so let's speak to this. Right during the budget presentation, which I imagine you're aware of now, that the governor presented the budget to the Edison Ahie group at the government house in one of the halls there. Your seats were declared vacant. I'm talking about the over 20 of you who moved to the APC. Are you aware of this? And off the back of that court ruling, where does that leave you?
It's funny. I say it all the time. It's funny. I say it all the time that we have the ground norm, which is the Constitution. And everything that we have done to date, we have done according to the dictates and prescriptions of the Constitution. Section 109, subsection 1G of the Constitution is clear that if there's a division in my party, I can move to another party. And that is what we have done. Whatever those four people, you're making a mistake. You said their speaker and four others. No, there are four in all. So the young man and three others cannot. They don't have the legal power to do that. So we're not bothered about that at all. That is not an issue at all. You can't put something on nothing. You know, so it's not an issue. You know, these are just people who have some funds to throw around and then allow press to come and then let them say stories. We're not bothered. There's a law. It's not a jungle. There's a constitution. And everything that should be done has to be done according to the law. The law has told us how to do what. And that is what we will follow. Anything outside of the law is void. And so it's just a short-term drama that is playing out there. As it stands now, our House of Assembly is constitutionally constituted. We have a court order that has warned all those parties and organs to stay off and allow the Assembly to do its job. That once the executive to stay away, that restrains the executive from interfering with the activities of the legislature. So in the eyes of the law, as of today, Martin Amaewhule is the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, and there's no doubt about that.
So why are you holding your sit-ins then? When last did you hold your sit-in? Where are you holding your sit-in? What are the issues that have been brought up? When you say he's a speaker...
You know that the last sit-in... No, the last sit-in we held just a few days ago, you know very well, the last sit-in we held a few days ago, we held it at the Rivers State House of Assembly complex. If we were going to sit today, we would have still sat inside the official House of Assembly complex. Now that this has been done, the House, let me tell you, the House of Assembly is the people and not the building. The law allows us to decide where to sit. When we reconvene, the House was adjourned. Whenever the House reconvenes, the House will move a motion and decide on where that is convenient to use as our sitting ground. The executive, look, let me tell you something. The Constitution is clear that the legislature is an independent arm of government. The executive cannot choose where the Constitution, the House of Assembly will sit. If you do community reading of Section 4 of the Constitution, Section 5 of the Constitution, and Section 6, I always say it, that we have a horizontal separation of power, which the Constitution, the ground norm, has allowed. All tripartite arms of government function independently. The executive is not allowed by law to choose where the legislature will sit unless in agreement with the legislature. So it is the legislature that will decide where and how it carries out its business. The executive has no power whatsoever. And again, the House of Assembly can only sit when there's a quorum. As presently constituted, our quorum is 11 members. The House was adjourned and has to be reconvened before any decision will be taken. Who reconvened the House? Well, the House was adjourned by Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Martin Amaewhule. The House has not been reconvened. Our quorum is 11. Three people cannot form quorum and then do so. All that has been done is what? It's a sad day. It's a sad day that Rivers people will wake up to see history murdered.
Well, just to reiterate that we reached out to the Edison here group as well, but they've not sent a representative yet on the program, such that we can have a balanced conversation.
They will not stop.
Two quick issues. I was speaking to our viewers, actually, Honourable. But two quick issues to raise as we wind down. Help us understand the figures quickly, because it's a bit tricky. So, 27 members defected to the APC. Am I correct?
Yes.
And the House is a 32-member House. Is that correct?
32, we lost one. We're 31 right now.
So we understand that there are reports that Honorable Linda Sumari Stewart is back in the PDP. Can you confirm that?
I cannot confirm that. I don't think that is correct. I just got off the phone with Linda Stewart, and then there's no such story at all.
So did she say she's still with you people? That's the 27.
Fully with us.
Those were her words, and you can confirm that she said she hasn't moved back to the PDP.
I can confirm that Linda Stewart says she's with us fully. Anyone who has a contrary opinion or information can bring their evidence to us.
Okay, so what is the end game? And I'd like you to just be clear with us on this one, the people of Rivers State, and of course for the whole nation. What is the end game for former governor, now Minister of the FCT, Mr. Nyesom Wike, whom I understand that you people have been meeting with, had to celebrate his birthday with him. But what is really the end game? Isn't he repeating what he fought against when he was governor? Isn't he repeating that same thing?
Look, I keep saying this. It's very, very unfortunate and a bit disrespectful to keep dragging the name of the minister into every issue that the legislature has with the executive. I said the last time that we have 27 members who took their decisions to move to another party. That decision were taken on their own, out of their own volition, So we can't always, yes, we know that he's a political leader of the state. We know that he's our mentor and leader, but everything cannot be reduced to His Excellency, the FCT minister's name. It is wrong to assume that every step that we take, everything that those 27 members that have moved to the APC take, because it is in tune with the expectations of the FCT minister. I said to you the other day that we moved to the APC as constitutionally allowed. And even if we go out of the constitution, we voted for Mr. President. We keyed into his renewed hope agenda. And I said that if we found the man worthy to vote for him, now that he's president, we can find him worthy to work with him.
I understand that. Honorable,
the fortunes of
I understand that, but I want you to be forthright.
That is
with us
our
here.
own decision.
I understand. So are you saying that
Yes.
he's not in support of your move to the APC, or he is?
Look, I have not had that conversation personally with the
Because
FCPD.
if he's not in support, you will have
Whether he's in
people
support,
to say, well, you
as he
people,
stands, he
I
is
don't
in his
think you're
party,
doing things right.
He is in his party, the PDP. He is in his party, the PDP. We have moved to our party, the APC. Whether he's in support or not, I don't know. But of course, he's a PDP man. We've not had, unfortunately, yesterday, I've not seen the man for some time, and yesterday was his birthday. There were a lot of people celebrating him and all of that. We've not even had that conversation. You know, so whatever he decides, that's his. I am an adult citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm a politician. I have decided my fate. I have decided where I want to be. I've said that, look, I've keyed into Mr. President's renewed hope agenda. I've said that I've moved to the APC because there's a division in my party. My former party, we don't even know who the secretary of the PDP is as at today.
All right.
There are court issues in Abuja. There are court issues in Lagos. Court issues everywhere. So a party with a dysfunctional secretariat is divided.
We have to wind down now, but I know the concern for a lot of people is first governance. That's the major issue. Ensure that the people of Rivers State get the appropriate governance which they deserve. We know that Rivers is responsible for a large chunk of the oil revenues and all of that. And the people that have been devastated as a result of those activities, and they look to government to give them the basic amenities. And again, the concern is whether or not you're being used as a tool by the major political players in the state. So I imagine the plea from people will be, as you said, be the man of your own and do what is right by the people of Rivers State.
But brother, the legislature is desperately trying to do its job. What we are seeing is suppression, repression, and bullying of the legislature to do the bidding of the executive. And we have said that the Constitution allows us to be independent. We will not be repressed. We will not be suppressed. The legislature in Nigeria must be allowed to function independently.
All right.
If that is not done, justice will not be achieved. If that is not done, we will not enjoy
Alabo
democracy. And this is a lesson to other states. Yes, please. Yes, please.
We'd like to thank you so much, Honorable Enemy Alabo George, a member representing Asari Toro Constituency 2, Chairman, House Committee on Information, and wish Rivers State the very best.
Thank you. Pray for us.
Well, let's go to the judiciary now. A judge of the appeal court, Justice Abdulaziz Waziri, has been defending the judgment sacking National Assembly and State Assembly members elected under the platform of the People's Democratic Party in Plateau State. And Justice Waziri faults critics of the judgment, citing that the party had no structure at the point of presenting their candidates.
I want to make a few comments in respect of what the chairman of the bar said in respect of the judgment, in respect of Plateau State. I will not comment on the governorship, but I will only comment on the national and state houses of assembly, of which I participated in that panel. Well, some people may say it was a pre-election. Agreed. Elections could be issue of qualification can be both pre and post-election matters, depending on what you understand by the term qualification. The issue in Plateau State is not a pre-election matter per se, as rightly pointed out by the chairman of this branch. There was a subsisting court order given by the Plateau State High Court that PDP should go and have their congresses conducted. They flouted the order of that court. They appealed to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal affirmed the decision of the lower court. They filed an appeal to the Supreme Court. They failed to pursue the appeal. That appeal was dismissed by the Supreme Court. So the matter as it stood at that point in time
they have no structures on ground. So any candidate they have fielded definitely will have no place to stand.
Perhaps as a reaction to that, the chairman of a Plateau state chapter of a PDP, Chris Hassan, insists that the party did not disobey any court order, reiterating that the party had adhered to the ruling in respect of conducting elections into the state executive body. Speaking to journalists at the party secretariat in Jos, he said that the party congresses were held in accordance with the PDP guidelines with adequate provision from the representatives of the national body.
In line with the constitution of the People's Democratic Party. Now we held the Congress, the State Congress, in November 2020. I was elected as the chairman of the party. My brother Kazi went to court, and court granted his prayers that we should repeat Congress, because People's Democratic Party is a party that respects the rule of law. There was no problem with that election, but because we said let us go back, so that we save ourselves from all litigations on all these court processes. The legal team advised us, and the ESCO were dissolved. And upon dissolution, the National Secretary of the party put in a caretaker committee headed by Senator Tunde Ogbeha. Tunde Ogbeha came here to this state. All of you are living witnesses. And was given a mandate to stay here for 90 days. And he did wonderfully well. And I told you that for anybody that is actually aware and in tune with the Plateau struggle, the manifesto and the philosophy of the party comes very close to our struggle. And that is why you find that overwhelmingly we brought in 16 members of the State House of Assembly as against the ruling party. We brought in 5 members of the House of Representatives and capped it all with 2 senators and a brand new governor.
And crisis appears to be brewing in the Inter-Party Advisory Council IPAC as some members of the council stormed out of a meeting in the nation's capital over what they described as an attempt by the national chairman of the council, Mr. Yameji Sani, to extend his tenure. And after a meeting in Abuja, which held behind closed doors, the members who are national chairmen of some political parties claimed that the current tenure of the executives of the council ended on December the 12th, while the national chairman of the council, however, denied the claim, saying that the allegation is to regularize the tenure of some executives. And that's been the program for today. Thank you for watching. Stay with Channels Television for all the breaking stories from rivers and across the country. I'm Kayode Kikulu. Goodbye.